Make-A-Wish recipients and workers. What were some wishes you had to say no to? I've been a recipient, and later on, after my health improved, I volunteered as a wish coordinator. My original wish was to attend the Oscars. That got denied by the Academy as they do not grant wishes. I wound up going to the People's Choice Awards as a VIP. Make-A-Wish flew my family to LA for a week, all expenses paid. They got us a limo for the show, paid for my dress, hair, and makeup. We walked the red carpet and were seated very close to the stage. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The generosity of the volunteers is remarkable. They even had someone greet us at the airport on arrival. It was extremely important to me that my brother and sister were included in my wish because my illness had robbed them of part of their childhoods. I am forever indebted to everyone who made my wish possible. When I turned 18, I decided to volunteer as a wish coordinator to give back to an organization that did so much for me. I met with wish kids and their families. We would always arrive with a gift for all the children in the family based on a little survey they filled out. We'd talk with a child and help define their wish. It's important to determine the child's true wish and to make sure that it isn't influenced by parents. The most common wish is to go to Disney. Celebrity meet and greets are the ones that often can be turned down. First, because it's undefined what a meet and greet is. It could be the child literally waving at someone, and no one wants that. And second, because not all celebrities grant wishes or can schedule time to meet wish kids. The coolest wish I worked on was a shopping spree for a boy who was confined to his room. He got $7,000 to go buy video games, TVs, a tricked-out lazy boy, etc. for the ultimate gaming setup. A classmate of mine, now passed, got a meet and greet with Sammy Sosa. The understanding from the Make-A-Wish people was that Sammy would sign autographs and sit with the family for a while. Now, this kid was all about Sammy. He had his jerseys, loved Sammy's little leaps after home runs, and if I recall correctly, even was big into Pepsi because of Sammy too. When the day came, Sammy showed up late. He didn't respond when the family greeted him. It was described as a sullen silence, signed a glove, and then walked away. My classmate started crying once it was clear that Sammy was not gonna come back. Right when the parents were about to leave, another baseball player named Corey Patterson saw my classmate, came up, signed everything they had, and talked and joked around with the family for over a half hour. Corey became my classmate's favorite player that day, and I think he lived perhaps a year after that moment. At his funeral, my classmate's picture with Corey was one of the most prominent pictures. That moment and day truly meant the world to him. He was around 10 or 11, if I recall correctly. To this day, I'm unsure if someone from Make-A-Wish found Corey or if the moment was as spontaneous as it was described to me, but no matter what, Corey will always have a special place in my heart because of that story. I'm a wish coordinator for Make-A-Wish, so my full-time job is planning wishes. I wanted to share a few important tidbits that most people don't know or realize. Number 1. Make-A-Wish chapters all function as their own separate nonprofits, so things vary from chapter to chapter. Make-A-Wish America, the national office, enforces some national policies: no gun wishes, set number of minimum days for an international travel wish, no gifting of real estate, etc. But most of these exist to keep wishes more fair across the board. For example, if a kid in Florida and a kid in Texas both wish to go to Paris, it wouldn't be fair if one only got to go for 3 days and the other went for 7. But in addition to national policies, each chapter has their own local policies as well. These are more nitpicky and set by the CEO and board of each chapter. So, like whether or not the chapter will get a limo for the wish day or if they'll rent a minivan versus a full-sized car, etc. If there isn't a set national policy for a specific wish, it's up to the chapter to decide whether or not they'll grant it. Number 2, I've read a lot of comments from wish granters. Most wish granters are trained volunteers who know a lot about the current policies and procedures, but they don't know everything. I literally get weekly emails about updated national policies. It's not their full-time job to know the policies, so I get it, but I've seen a lot of incorrect info on this thread posted by wish-granting volunteers. Not meant to be an attack, and I believe it's mostly well-intentioned, but just take some of these comments with a grain of salt. Number 3, I can't speak for other chapters, but at our chapter, we will never turn down a wish solely based on cost. Extremely high-cost wishes do occasionally get turned down by the board. They have to approve any wish over a certain dollar amount, but it's usually because of another reason. For example, Say a 7-year-old child wishes to swim with dolphins in Dubai. If there's nothing on the wish paperwork about why Dubai is special or why Dubai is essential to the heart of his wish, then the board will probably turn that down and say we can send him to swim with dolphins somewhere closer to home and less expensive to get to. However, if his wish paperwork has notes about his family being from Dubai, and he's always wanted to go there because his great-grandfather was a dolphin trainer in Dubai, so that truly is the heart of his wish, then they wouldn't turn it down. If it is, without a doubt, the heart of the kid's wish and they're able to explain why, then the cost alone won't get it vetoed. And when high-cost wishes are questioned, it's because every cent that goes towards wish cost was donated to our organization. So they just want to make sure we're spending it the wisest way possible. Again, might be unique to my chapter though, we have an awesome CEO and board. Number 4. Lastly, the medical team always gets the final say in whether or not the wish is appropriate for the child. Some doctors are super strict, and if they say the kid can't travel, then there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. Make-A-Wish is by no means perfect, and I've definitely been frustrated by many of our policies, but for the most part, there are good reasons behind the policies. Wish coordinators, full-time program staff, often have to be the bad guys and enforce rules they might not totally agree with, but it's just the way that it has to be to keep things fair. Oh, and I can't talk for other Wish coordinators, but I definitely don't push Disney wishes on any kid. If anything, I try to get them to think outside of the box, because, you only get one wish. Please make it count and let me live vicariously through your trip to New Zealand. Like an impulsive kid, I chose Disney as my wish. From the get-go, the wish became more about my family than me. For example, we had to take a train down to Florida instead of flying because my mom was scared of flying. So instead of sitting in a plane for a couple of hours, we sat in a train for about 16. Once we got there, they put you up in a place called Give Kids the World. They're awesome, but more on that later. I barely got to choose anything we did because my parents kept insisting that it was my little brother's vacation too, because he also suffered while I had cancer. Keep in mind, I was 11. I didn't give a crap what my brother went through. I have a rare form of cancer that could have killed me, and this was my reward for suffering, not his. He got to choose so much of what we did because my parents thought he suffered just as much as I did. And to this day, I regret choosing that for my wish. Now, on Give Kids the World. Check them out and consider volunteering for them if you can. They act like Make-A-Wish met a 5-star hotel. You don't like what's for breakfast? We'll either find it or get it tomorrow. They cook everything fresh and have a special bar where they make pancakes in any shape you want right in front of you. I volunteered with my old youth group a few years after I went, when I was still a kid, because they encourage teenagers to volunteer so that they can relate more to the kids. I think I liked volunteering more than being there, because you get to do whatever these kids want and watch their face light up when you show them something cool. 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Best place to volunteer.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and comment down below your thoughts. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from us. We have more videos on screen for you to watch right now.